You hear me back there? All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this month's monthly GANYC meeting. A few housekeeping things to start with. Get your phones out. Get the volume button. Turn the volume button down, 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 down. All right, thank you so much for turning those down. A few things, especially for people who are new with us. If you have a red badge, a red outline around it, that means you're a guest. Hello, guest. We love having our guests here. You are more than welcome to chat with any of us after the meeting, during breaks, that kind of thing. Hello, hello. However, you cannot, if you would go on the side because they're just, or over on this side, just because they're filming on this in the middle.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I know what
Okay. If you are a red badge, you are a guest. We love you, but you cannot address the full meeting or ask any questions, or if we have anything to vote on, you cannot vote. If you have a green badge on, you can speak at the meeting. If you're going to speak at the meeting, what are you going to do? Everybody knows. What are you going to do first?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Wait till you're called and stand up and say your full name. You're going to stand up and say your full name every single time. I know it feels like it's a little uncomfortable, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. If you have a blue badge, that means that you're emeritus. We adore you. We love you. You are allowed to address us. You can be part of the conversation, but you will not be able to vote. I don't think we'll have anything up for a vote today. So you will just be there. All right. Do we have anybody who can motion for approval of the? So moved. Seconded. All right. Anybody object? This is the thing we need to vote on. How about everybody raise their hand if they say that they're approved the last agenda? Fantastic. So passed. And, with two hands, excellent. Vote early, vote often, always. Any new business? Yeah. Mark, you have an announcement that you'd like to make at the end of the meeting? Yes. About a trivia contest, yes? Correct. All right. You have new business?
I would like to bring up the carriage issue.
Okay, fantastic. So you're doing that on Christine's behalf. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. That way I don't have to do that for her, on her behalf. Charlie, I think you had new business? No, okay.
We're,
See, now I'm not even.
Jose Rodales. Hi, Jose. We're adding another report for the certification committee, who's given last minute.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't add it to the agenda.
Oh, okay. Fine. Okay. All right. Well, this is the president's report. This is really from Michael, who couldn't be with us today. He is out on the road with a group. Yeah.
Come to a long pace.
Oh, okay. There you go. You can come sit right over here. My name is Rosemary Schmavonian. All of my friends call me Ro, so Ro Schmavonian. I am the co-VP of GANYC for this year and next year. We're so thrilled to be back here at one of our very favorite venues, the Museum of the City of New York. It's always been very generous to GANYC, to our membership, and we appreciate the COO, Cherie Gallagher, and the rest of the team for hosting us. We're very, very happy, particularly as we've just passed the momentous America 250. I think, how many people of you saw the Occupied City exhibit? It sounded fantastic. We should all go? Yeah. I'd like to just invite up here for just a moment Audra Goldtsein from the Museum of the City of New York. She will let us know a little bit about some of the benefits that GANYC gets at the museum. So why don't you go ahead and let them know about that.
Oh, sure, of course. I could project, but yes, for video. Okay. Good. Okay, perfect. It's great to see you all. I see a lot of familiar faces. Welcome back to the Museum of the City of New York. We always love holding the meeting here for GANYC. I am the group tour manager here at the museum. I've been here for about 3 years. We have a lot of amazing exhibits going on right now. As a lot of you have seen, we have our Occupied City exhibit going on. And I just wanted to let you all know that if you bring a group with you, you can get in for $5 per person. We have our Occupied City exhibit going on. Our New York at its core exhibit is always amazing for the past 400 years of history in 2 galleries of New York City. We have our Another Wonderland exhibit going on now, which explores the intersection of healthcare and art. If you haven't seen it yet, you really want to catch it. It's only on view until the end of September. So if any of you do art walking tours or art tours, you definitely want to bring a group to come see this, $5 per person. And then we also have, are any of you familiar with our Activist exhibit, Activist New York? So our Activist New York exhibit is going to be taking a different form come the fall. So as it is right now, it's only on view until July 19th. So if you do activism tours, you want to come in, bring your group now before it closes. It's going to be amazing come the fall. It's going to be a whole new Puffin Center for Activism. We're going to have a Lenape exhibit opening up, along with a new activist exhibit. And it's going to explore the tactics of activism, so demonstration. So you're going to want to bring groups to that too and see this whole brand new center. But if you love the activist exhibit as it is now with the case studies, bring your groups in. I'm going to leave my card on the table outside. So if you want to get in touch with me, just send me an email and feel free. And I would love to hear from you and have your groups. We want to have more and more visitors come visit the Museum of the City of New York. Thank you. Oh, yep. I'm just going to take this with me.
Keep taking it with you, yeah. We'll listen to your whole life story as it goes along. All right, well, the America 250 exhibit sounds like it was great. That's exactly where he'd like me to start here. We want to give a shout out to 2 GANYC initiatives that demonstrate new pathways and directions for GANYC, both tied to the America 250 celebrations. First of all, we want to congratulate our board member at large, Gary Dennis, the very shy man sitting over here on my left, for doing an incredible job of coordinating the weekend of free tours for celebrating America 250. Gary's, Gary stepped up to helm the New York City 400 committee, which then transitioned into America 250, and he's done a great job of helping GANYC celebrate these momentous anniversaries, both with our members and with the city at large. So thank you to all of the GANYC members who volunteered to lead the 30 free tours we had over the weekend of June 27th to 28th. The lineup was extremely varied and diverse, great symbol of what New York City represents for the country, and emblematic of the depth of GANYC members' knowledge and passion for the city. So thanks everybody again. And you too, Gary. And for everybody. Now, we also want to make sure to thank PR Chair Cherie Davis, who I finally pronounced correctly in public. There we go. Thank you. I worked on it today. And her committee, especially Andy McNeil, for the terrific 2 Truths and a Lie campaign that's been running on the social.
Don't forget Ivana.
Yeah.
Ivana killed it with all of the editing.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Ivana. Yay! It's this sort of forward thinking that will help GANYC continue to grow, promoting ourselves to other tour guides, to become members, and to the public at large, to drive more business to each of you. If you haven't already checked it out, I encourage you to look at GANYC's social media channels to see the great work done by the committee, and to share and like the reels on your own channels to give GANYC a little extra boost. Always nice to, like, share, tag us, whatever. Thanks to everyone who submitted a video. I know there are a lot more creative promotional ideas in the pipeline, and we all look forward to seeing what else the committee will be generating. So thank you. As we mentioned last month, one of the main focuses of the board has been sustainable and strategic growth for the association. To make sure we're best serving our members and our mission of promoting GANYC guides and tour guiding at large. GANYC is in strong financial shape, and it is now time to utilize funds in a strategic way. And that's why Treasurer Sarah Lyons and I'm speaking for Michael, Sarah Lyons and Michael, have scheduled individual meetings with GANYC standing committees to discuss each committee's budget priorities and possibilities as we approach budgeting for our next fiscal year. While we'll always be diligent about making sure GANYC's finances are sound, we recognize that we can now help empower the committees to spend money on projects that are important to GANYC's mission. We look forward to hearing your vision for your committees and helping you continue the great work you do for all of GANYC's members. And I'd like to just say a personal thanks to everyone who chairs or serves on a committee. You also deserve a round of applause. It's a lot of extra work, and it's what makes this organization run. So let's get a little round of applause for the committees. Some of you may have heard or seen the news that Julie Coker, CEO of New York City Tourism and Conventions, announced in June that she was resigning to take a job as president and CEO of Visit California, effective August 31. A little bit of a change. We wish Julie well in her new endeavor. Once a new CEO is installed, we will once again try to establish a good working relationship with our city's destination marketing organization. Okay, I know I could put this up here. The August 5th meeting, membership meeting is at Greenwood Cemetery, and it's going to feature an open forum. So we're going to have this portion of the meeting be a little more structured than the last open forum that we had. So we want to have the discussion as interactive and as productive as possible. We're still finalizing the format, but if there's topics you'd like to see addressed, please reach out to either board@ganyc.org or to Mike directly at president@ganyc.org. And so this will be, instead of a speaker, sort of controlled conversation amongst the whole group about the topics in the business that are most important to us. All right. With that, I'm going to call Bob up to introduce Cherie Gallagher, the COO of the museum.
So welcome, everyone, back to the Museum of the City of New York, one of our favorite stops as we get venues during the year. We have always been welcomed here graciously by Chief Operating Officer Cherie Gallagher, who I'm thrilled is here with us. First of all, in September, Cherie will be celebrating his 20th anniversary with the Museum of the City of New York. And you don't look a day over than 21. Prior to joining the museum, he held positions at a number of cultural and educational institutions, including Yale University, the New York Philharmonic, and the New York City Opera. So with that, please welcome Cherie Gallagher.
So I won't be up here long. I was very happy. Thank you all so much for welcoming me. I'm so happy to welcome you all back to the Museum of the City of New York. It's great to have you here each year. A couple of little things that I just wanted to put out there to promote us. We're very happy that you're here tonight, especially because Wednesdays is our free day at the museum. So feel free to come back any Wednesday. It's always free for everybody. Not just tour guides, but New Yorkers and visitors alike. And we just started last Wednesday initiating a new program called Free Summer Wednesdays, where we're open late into the evening until 9 o'clock. So after the meeting today, you're welcome to go back upstairs and visit any of the exhibitions that you'd like. It's a great opportunity to see Activist New York before it closes, as well as Another Wonderland featuring the Alice murals, which is really, really beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, definitely try to take a shot up there and see that. As well as Joe Mackin's New York, which will also be closing in September, and that's on the first floor. And our late summer Wednesdays are sponsored by Amazon, so shout out to them. Thank them for supporting us. And tour guides. Tour guides always come to the museum for free. Just show your ID and you'll get free admission anytime you come to the museum. Yay, yay. And the last thing that I wanted to give a shout out, because we just put it onto the website on Tuesday, yesterday. I know it's a little early to think about this, but this is one of the projects, my pet projects here at the museum. In the fall or early winter, we have our gingerbread exhibition. Yay! Gingerbread NYC. So if you're a baker, if you'd like to bake, if you'd like to try your hand at baking and doing some gingerbread construction, or if you know anybody who'd like to do it, visit our website, mcny.org, and there's a page on there where you can sign up and enter the contest this year. The deadline to enter is September 20th. So start thinking about the holidays. All right, thank you. Oh, yes.
Hi, my name's Tony. Just wondering if might ever come back, the trivia night that we had, I think up until pandemic.
Ah, yes.
After the pandemic, but we won too many times.
It wasn't, we haven't had one in several years, and we just wondered where it went and will it ever come back?
I'll add it to the list of questions that I've had for other colleagues of mine in our public programs department. So, great, good to know.
We loved it.
Thank you.
The best one of the best.
Anything else, since I'm here, any other questions for me?
I mean, I just have the same question.
Stand
about
up.
this. Oh, sorry.
Say your
My
name.
name's Halora.
Full
Sorry.
name.
Halora Lyle.
Hi, Halora.
Hi. I have the same question about the scavenger hunt they used to do.
Oh, yes, the scavenger hunt. That's generally coordinated by our development department and our public programs department. It was a tremendous amount of work. I saw all the work that went into it behind the scenes, and it did raise some money for the museum, which was the goal, but I think it may not have paid off for itself. But what they've done this year is they've switched off and they're focusing on the New York City Marathon. And so they're encouraging people to sign up and help support the museum. I know a lot of different nonprofit organizations have runners go and they run and raise money for different nonprofits. So we're focusing this year, I believe, on the New York City Marathon. So if you're into running, no, okay. Yes,
Hi, Mark Levy. Timescapes.
up.
Sorry. Mark Levy.
Hi, Mark.
Timescapes. Every time I come here, I see it again and again and again and again. Are you planning on updating it at any point with new information? Because it's one of the best things in the museum.
thank you very much. Yes, it's one of the top things that people rate us on. Timescapes, we did do an update when we installed New York at its core on the first floor. So that was around 2016. And it is due for another update. And I think it is in the works. And not only to update the content, but also to find a home that will allow for more people to see it at one time. So, and improving some of the visual aspects. So.
Would you like to see?
Hi, Gary.
That's your thing. That's your whole thing. That's
Okay,
your thing,
it's my-
all right?
I'm kind of
You've done your
bossy.
job.
I'm
Now
very
it's just
bossy.
I know. All right. Hi.
Say your name.
Oh, sorry. Gary, New York City TourGuide.com. All right. Oh, why am I standing up? I don't know. So I just have a question, and it came up tonight, and someone asked me what my favorite thing about this place was. And I remembered as a kid, there was a box from the old Met. Do you remember this?
No.
You've been here for 20 years. You don't remember this?
No.
Damn, I'm old. All right, so never mind, I'm facing my own mortality. So no one knows where this box is. It's a box. You can't like lose that. Where'd it go?
So is it a box
It was
from
a
the
box
Met
from the old
Museum
Met.
or the Met
No,
Opera?
Met Opera, the original Met.
And what was in the box?
It was there. What was in the box was like a sitting box, like the box, like from the dresser.
Oh, like a period room, a period piece, a piece of furniture. I see, I see.
Now you all remember. Yeah, okay. Before you were useless, but now you all remember. All right, there you go.
I don't know about, this is the first I'm hearing about the box from the old Met, but I've got your name, Gary, and I'll find a way to connect with you through Ro
Okay.
and Bob, and I'll see if I can get some information on where that box might be. So,
All right.
Okay.
That's very cool.
anything else? This is kind of fun, actually. Yeah. I wasn't expecting it.
Hang out, hang out.
I will.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
very
yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. All right, our speaker for this evening is a little bit delayed, and so we're going to jump ahead to committee reports. We're going to start with Cherie Davis and Public Relations.
Hi, guys. I'm Cherie. So just a note before I start with the official report. If you were at the FAM prior to this and you would like to do a little what my favorite thing was at the Museum of the City of New York on video, I would love for that to happen. So just see me either directly after the meeting or at the bar. Always fun. So the Public Relations Committee launched the video series Two Truths and a Lie to promote the America 250 free tours at the end of June. We had 11 participants, and almost all of the shooting and editing was done by Andy and Ivana. They killed it. Our most successful videos were on our Facebook public page platform, but across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, we received over 5,000 views for all of the videos. So, yay. We will be launching sometime in the next couple weeks a new permanent series called Meet the Guide. This will feature GANYC guides answering a couple questions in their favorite places throughout the city. All GANYC members will be invited to participate. All videos will be shot by a member of the PR committee, and we all, because we don't have access to the screens, we will have these so you can see a sample of one at the bar. I'll send out, when we're ready, I'll send out a form so that you can fill it out, let us know. We have some questions for you to choose and things like that. When you're available, what's the best time, where you want to shoot, and we will arrange for somebody to do that for you. And we're not sure how many we're going to put out at a time, but the more we have, the more choices we have. So we hope to hear from you guys soon. We now have a TikTok account. So for those of you cool kids who are on the TikToks, we are at tiktok.com/@guidesofnyc. We are looking at strategies to promote guides and get more people to our Hire a Guide and Find a Guide pages on the website. So if you have any ideas about that promotion, how to kind of make that happen, drop me a line, publicrelations@ganyc.org. And if anybody has any ideas on how to get people to our LinkedIn page, we are also working at promotions on that as well. We're slowly increasing our members. Yes?
Questions at the end.
We're slowly increasing the amount of people we have following us on all of the social media platforms. So most of the platforms are up somewhere between 1% and 5% over the last month. So yeah, not bad. And our America 250 pages received somewhere between 200 and 600 hits on those pages. The free tour ones. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yep. Oh. Yeah.
Stand up and say your name.
My name's Rich Miller, new to the organization.
Hi.
But I do promote my own tours on LinkedIn.
Uh-huh.
So does that mean I can just share it to the GANYC LinkedIn page?
Make sure you're following us, and then you can share. You can actually share and collaborate and like on anything we do on any of the platforms, and that would be really helpful. And when you send me something, include your URL so I can include your URL on things and promote you, and also make sure we're following each other. The more I follow you, the more you follow us. it's all just one big happy family. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's somebody who didn't get the message. Any other questions? Oh, yeah?
Andy McNeil, I just wanted to say the last point that Cherie said about promoting the guides as well, that's a big initiative here. It's not just about promoting GANYC, obviously that helps all of us, but if you're gonna do work and wanna share it with GANYC, we wanna promote you. So like, take advantage of this and we'll just help each other out.
Thank you so much, Anne. Anne McDermott will come up and present from the membership committee.
So I just want to say on the video thing, so when they were doing the French flyover, I just happened to be at the Statue of Liberty when that was happening. And one of my guests, like one of the people who took this 11-second video of the flyover of this, the planes and the red, white, and blue, and the Statue of Liberty it's fantastic. Anyway, so I put it on Facebook, and Facebook put it into Instagram, and I have gotten more followers on Instagram in the last 3 weeks than any other time because this video was just so fantastic. So just to highlight, the New York City things that we don't, that we might be seeing, but not, videoing. So just 11 seconds, and I have literally 200 or 300 followers that joined because of that. So, and I'll tag GANYC in that. I wasn't paying attention. I was busy doing other stuff the last couple weeks. All right, so Jeremy and I are the chairs of the membership committee. If you're a member of the membership committee, raise your hand. Yay, well, say hello. Hi, everybody. There's members of the membership committee. Our mission is to help GANYC be a warm and inviting place and to help you get integrated into the community and to help everybody make connections so that we can all make money. Right? That's the whole, we're, let's just call it like it is. We're from New York, right? Well, that's why we're here. So, and what we do is we organize events, we organize parties, we organize get-togethers. Daria, thank you very much. Daria is the one who found the place for tonight that we're going to go. I apologize to Anina because I didn't see your connection. That's okay. Anina also had a thing. So it's a community thing. We will often ask you to help out, to make the place, to bring people in and to help us find places. So when we do the after meeting things, we need somebody to sort of vouch for the place, right, Tony? Tony's in charge of this. And just make sure we have enough room. And thank you to Mark Satloff, who last meeting found a place in his neighborhood where everybody went and had a fantastic time. The more we all hang out with each other, the more we learn from each other, the more, better our connections are. All right, so let me just bring up the report. Now, if you are new to GANYC within the last year, please stand up within the last year. Yay, welcome. So thank you very much. No, don't sit down yet. If you're new within the last 6 months, you can sit down, okay? Karen and Cherie and Dina and Halura and James. So when we go to tonight, if you're an old-time GANYC person, chat with these folks, help them. Just invite them in and let them know your expertise, what you do, because the more we all know about each other, the more we can sort of share that. So I'll just give you the numbers now. Thank you very much. You can sit down now. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Hold on. Stupid phone with the number. I hate it. Okay, where's the report? Of course, from here. I have 1:35. We have 5 new members in June, I can tell you that. 5 new members. Halora, you're one of them. I typed up your name yesterday. Okay, hold on a second. Phone. All right, we have new members. We do interviews. We're going to be doing interviews. The next event we're going to have is we're going to do like an after work kind of thing on this 21st of, where are we doing it, Jeremy? At Pier 57? 57. And then we're going to have a new member orientation meeting September 23rd at Pier 57 in one of the classrooms there, and that's a really great time to sort of get together and kind of learn from each other and sort of figure out okay, I became a guide, I got my license, now what do I want to do, right? We help with that. And Ro is a very good facilitator, part of that. And then, what else are we doing, Jeremy?
There'll be another networking happy hour sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
Place to be TBD, but.
Most probably Phoebe's, though.
Definitely on the calendar are the event coming up later this month that you mentioned on the rooftop at 357, that's live now. And the new member orientation for those of you who are here within the last 6 to 9 months on the 23rd of September.
Yes, on the 23rd. And there was one other thing, the membership meeting. I guess that's it. If I have something else, I'll remember it. Oh my God, 12 seconds. I made it, Gary. 12 seconds. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Ina Mende comes up next for education.
There you go. This is cute. All right, so we're on our 52nd year in GANYC, and we were happy to participate in the 250 anniversary. A lot of our ed members were part of the committee, the 250 committee, doing tours. And we did also tours throughout, and since they're in the past, we list them in this report would take 10 minutes to read, but we have a whole listing of events that we did for the 250. And sometimes, like Joe and some other members did too. They did the 250 and then tour for us, so great. Our committee, just a quick to know that it's not just one person. Bob Gelber, Jeremy Wilcox, John Semlak, Lisa Puccio, Susan Birnbaum, Eileen Rourke, Mark Capitano, Sarah McGrath, Suzanne Reisman, Lee Hallingby, and our board liaison, Daria Walcott. And we're really happy and proud that Kevin Draper is going to be speaking, one of our own, historian and GANYC member, organized by Bob Gelber, and the Occupied City Fam Tour, pre-meeting fam was organized by Bob Gelber. We've had a busy July 1st. Kat, who was a graduate of the certification committee, did another and I can't read it. It's Strange and Sensational Stories, and that was July 1st. We're coming up July 11th. This is a first, and I'm really excited. I'm learning a little, brushing up on my Spanish. Dominican Republic migration to New York City with Emiliano Perez. It's a tour for Spanish-speaking or Spanish-learning tour guides. July 29th, Historic Hotels in Midtown with Amy Cook. And August 9th, it's Cooler in Queens, Beyond Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, Reading the World's Borough with Steve Klopper. And we now have a feedback form, a survey, and you can opt in, or opt out, whichever. And if you want some feedback and you're developing a tour, it's good to hear from members about that. And one more thing, if you want to, we have a whole library, and now it's the summer and you're in air condition. If you want to listen to a webinar, or even if you missed a meeting and want to hear a guest speaker, most of them are taped. And as a member, you have access to our special GANYC YouTube channel. And so that's a really perk of membership. And our next educational meeting is going to be on July 15th at 6. It's on Zoom, so we welcome all new members to just check in and get to meet us. And we have a monthly thank you index of tours, and we did so many of them. We did one in June. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tours in June that we did. So if you want to know what they are and who the experts are, they're all listed. One of them that I'm a little partial to because it was a curated tour of the Declaration of Independence, Long Trail to Liberty is still going on a couple more days. It's down in the East Village. It's free. Get real close to the Declaration of Independence. And a lot of the grievances are listed with accompanying documents. So if you missed that, check it out. It's free. It's worth seeing. If I have time, I'll.
You've got a minute, 15
Okay,
seconds.
then I'll just list some of the great tours that we did. Night photography with Stanley O'Connor, Pre-meeting of Harlem Fam with Mark Satloff, a grand department buildings of the Upper West Side with Amy Cook. These are all listed in June. The Declaration of Independence I mentioned. Sewage, Sex, and Sickness in the 5 Points with Suzanne Reisman. Fabulous Fountains of Midtown with Stephanie Azarone. Hamilton and Burr, The Rivalry That Changed America with Andrew Kirshner. Lower East Side Street on Our Tour with Jeremy Wilcox. The Revolutionary War Spy Tour with Jason Stein, and After the Great Fire of 1776, Townhouses, Tenements, and Towers with Joe Safely. So I got it all in.
Does anyone have any questions? Nina, come back here.
Andrea Coyle, sorry, emeritus member. Just want to remind everybody, if you're attending a fan tour, take good pictures of the group and maybe what the tour guide's talking about. Send those pictures into public relations and membership and newsletter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also send them to Ed too, but those are the newsletter, public relations, and membership.
And then also, to have, if someone can volunteer, whoever's on a fan tour, to do a write-up. And because we want to get the message out, so everybody sees what a cool organization we are. We gain new members, we get stronger, okay?
All right. Just to repeat that comment really quickly, if you've got pictures or a write-up, send it through to the PR committee. Look, in a nutshell.
Just a brief recap, it hasn't been updated in, over 23 years at this point. It's almost history itself. And we've reached out to DCWP, we've gone back and forth, and the last email they sent us, they said they think a revision is doable. What they seem to imply is that we're going to be able to sort of take the lead on that, but they definitely have questions on what it would look like, and they want to have final approval, which of course makes a lot of sense. So that's another great news, and we're going to be communicating with them, and hopefully we'll have something ready to go by next month, a little bit more solidified. Kind of a new news, last month, if you were here, someone asked about Omni bulk sales, and if there's anything we could do about that. Oh, right, there you are. Hey. Yeah, and thank you for the letter, by the way. It was a great letter. We started researching that night, and there's a lot of weird, frustrating things about that. If you don't know, you can't buy bulk sales of Omni cards. Someone asked if GANYC could do it, because we're a nonprofit, but they specifically are it's for social services nonprofits if you go to their website. But what's kind of interesting is if you go to the slideshows and presentations they've had in the past about this, they actually listed tourism and hotel and hospitality operators as people who could actually do bulk sales. So some point before rollout, they had planned to do that, and for some reason, they decided not to. So we've filed a request for more information. They have to I think legally send it back within 30 days, and that's been 12, 15 days at this point. So we're gonna get that information. We're gonna learn more about why they made that decision, hopefully, and then take it for there and hopefully advocate for the sales of bulk Omni cards. Because it's very frustrating. If you look at other cities, a lot, if you look at London, they have a London visitor Oyster card, and they'll mail it to people, is what I found out. You can order it online, and they'll send it overseas. So let's not be behind London, right? And I think that's pretty much kind of it, essentially. We have a lot of plans for next month. It's kind of similar to other boards, working the budget, and we'll probably be picking a vice chair as well. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. If there's any questions. Oh, do you pick? Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stand up. Say your name. Yeah, there you go.
Have you ever considered inviting one of the council people or somebody related, government official, to actually speak to us?
Yeah.
Because then they'll get closer to us, they'll see all these impressive people.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, 100%. We actually talked at one point to the Manhattan Borough historian, and yeah, he mentioned, Cherie can confirm, he mentioned actually having the Manhattan Borough president coming to talk to us, and that's something we wanted to follow up on. I think someone else actually reached out to him recently, so I was going to follow up to that email as well. And I was also thinking about council member, if he does push for this, having the council member Epstein come in as well. But definitely consider that, and I think something we want to do down the line. Yes.
Yep. Stand up. Say your name.
Eileen Rourke. To that point, what you were saying, I had made contact with the Manhattan Borough President's Office when I went to I guess it was last month, to the New York Historical Society, and an email went out to you and a couple of other people. It's different things. We were first dealing with 250 America, but the Manhattan Borough, they didn't commit that he was gonna speak or the historian, but
Yeah.
they're definitely interested in working with GANYC on a number of issues, including the, Statue of Liberty, illegal,
And
ticket
what's the
sales.
question?
Well, I'm just saying
Yeah,
a
yeah.
comment, just to verify that we do have contacts for different things with the Manhattan Borough President's Office, so hopefully we'll take advantage of all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully
thank you.
so.
I think we had a question over here. Can you stand up, say your name?
Hi, Amina. Did you talk to a live person about Omni, or is this all through email?
The request is through their portal, and then the research, because when I was asked about it, and I was aware of this issue before, I just went to their bulk sales program to sort of figure out if you could, yeah.
So somebody put on the GANYC forum,
Mhm.
whatever, asking about it, and I put this whole thing on
Yeah.
how to do it.
Yeah, I saw it, and I emailed them, and I
But you
emailed,
didn't call them.
well, I didn't call, but when
No, okay.
when I emailed them, they said it's not allowed for tourism operators, because I did try, I even tried to set up my own account in the profile with my LLC, because you'd have a
So-
tax, anyway.
I'll give you the number.
Sure.
Try.
Okay, I'll try a number as
Because
well.
I've done it twice, and I've gotten them in bulk. And both times they said, please tell people to call us, because our
Yeah.
website is so out of date, and we keep asking them to change it, but they haven't changed it. And the person who looks at the emails doesn't know everything, so just call us. And
Sure.
I was like, okay. And so that's when people ask, I'm like, call them.
I mean, if people can call, that's great as well,
So-
but
But yeah,
it
I'll
should-
give you the number
yeah.
that I use, and call them.
Yeah.
See if that works.
all right.
Okay, wait. We've got a question behind you. Alan, no, Alan? No, not you yet,
Oh.
Alan.
Alan Simon, just following up, why don't we put that phone number on the Facebook group?
I think she posted it, and we'll call it as well.
I said all the time, but I didn't see it, so maybe.
And if we can call, that's great, but we should at least, maybe the mission, they will then get them all on the same page. Because it's posted on their website. I know you know as well.
Okay.
But we,
And they did change from the beginning of the year, it was done one way, and then they realized this isn't working so well, and then they did it another way, and the other way is you have to call in live.
I'll do one quick, how do you just give me your credit card information, or how do you pay for it, or?
I have an account that I opened up when I first did it back in February.
Oh, yeah, I tried to open an account as
So
well.
maybe
Anyway,
if
we'll
the
talk
two
about
of
this later, we won't.
If the two of you could get together and you could transfer
yeah.
that information and then work with Cherie and the PR committee to circulate that information
You
around.
just might be more charismatic than me, I think that's it. Yeah.
Ron in the back, do you want to ask one more question? Then we're going to move on to the next committee. Stand up, say your full name.
My name is Ronald. I was wondering, does the Government Relations Committee also cover relationships with the operators?
I mean, they're part of the federal government, right? So I would imagine so, depending on what it is.
Things are kind of difficult out there.
Are you talking about the Statue of Liberty, I presume? Yeah. Yeah. And I'm happy to look. I think there's like a little bit of history there, and I know that Mike tried to address this, and so I guess what's that? Sorry? Yeah. And I have thought about that as well. I'm kind of taking things one at a time. The administrative code and the tests have been sort of around, that issue's been around for a time, so I want to push those through. But I have definitely considered that specifically, and I would look at,
So just repeat the question.
or do you want to repeat the question? Sorry.
Actually, could you repeat the question? So, actually, let James repeat the question so it can actually be heard.
Well, I'm afraid actually I may have misunderstood. Are you talking about the Statue of Liberty, or are you talking about the,
Well, I mean, all the places where they are, they're kind of problematic, but, you know.
are you talking about the ticket sellers, or about the issues on the island? I'm sorry.
It's a problem because, you know, a lot of people, we get paid to do tours, and then we're not allowed to tour, we're not even.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not talking about taking your entire group and the whole.
Right,
group
okay, so-
inside the buildings, but when you go around to your bench and you talk to like individual people that they assume they're in your group, then you're getting, you're getting the boot, and then.
So basically, you're just talking about all the issues on the island and where you can go and not go. Yeah. Yeah.
You were outside?
I mean, I was inside, but then, one they asked me to leave and not speak to anybody inside, which is ridiculous in itself, that we can't speak to anybody who's inside just because we're wearing.
And basically, for anyone who's not new, I mean, basically the issue is that if you go to the Statue of Liberty Island or to Ellis Island, there's areas you can't go or not go to, and park rangers are a little overzealous, I guess, at times about how they handle it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's something for the committee to take a look at. Thank you for raising it.
But we will, definitely.
One thing I will say, whatever you're most passionate about, be ready for someone to call you and say, we need you to make some phone calls. So be careful what you wish for sometimes when you raise your hand and you say you want a committee to do some work for you. Next we have, oh, look, we have the,
All right, there you go.
there we go. Am I going to time you? We've got Gary.
I'll time myself. Don't
We've
worry
got.
about it. All right.
All right.
Okay. Wait, this doesn't count. You're
This
putting
is,
this on.
no, this does not count. This is count.
Well, do you want to put that on?
No, okay.
Okay. All right. So, hi there, and welcome to Ground Zero for the latest Legionnaires outbreak. It's south of us? Oh, there you go. And thank you for the B room. All right, there you go. I mean, this is great. No, I'm only kidding. This is great. All right, so, all right. First, this is the NYC USA 250, NYC 400 USA 250 report for June, and maybe actually the last report because I'm not doing NYC 402. First, I need to thank a few people. The help I received was invaluable and much appreciated, and I want it in this record just in case something happens to me, all right? Damn it, I hate when I make me laugh. All right, thank you to Cherie Davis for building the pages, both the landing page and the separate pages for the June 27th tours and June 28th tours. Thank you, all right? And thank you, Cherie Davis and the PR committee for the Two Truths and a Lie thing on our Instagram and all our social media platforms. That was fantastic. Thank you to Mike Morgenthau for saying to me, no one else wants to do this. So I did it. All right, and for putting together our flyer. Eileen Wark for getting me in to the new regime at the Manhattan Borough President's Office. I mean, that was a godsend. All right, and also thank you to Gail Brewer for not telling me that we were listed on her emails. They didn't tell me. They did this without. I wrote to them like 800 times. Why aren't you answering? Turns out they just without answering me, they put us on the thing. I'd like to thank Harvey just because no one's thanked him tonight. Stand up, Harvey. Stand up. There you go. All right, sit down, Harvey. There you go. All right, that's it. All right. So thank you, Eileen, and Bob Gelber and Mike Morgenthau for securing and running the GANYC table at the MTA Staycation event at Vanderbilt Hall. Thank you, because a lot of the people came to them. I see. All right, don't worry about it. All right. And of course, a big thank you to the guides that offered their expertise to the public free of charge. All right. And if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. Dennis Chevalier, Aaron Donnelly, David Feldman, Bob Gelber, Andrew Kirshner, Georgette Milagros, Mark Mendel, Andy McNeil, Stan O'Connor, Emiliano Perez, John Semlak, Slava Spiegel, Jason Stein, Joe Svelak, George Tonkin, William oh my God, William Vander, shorten that name, man, and then Anina Young, all right? There you go, so enough of that. To summarize the weekend and its successes and lessons learned, ultimately 30 tours were offered. Not all of them were done. They were offered by 18 guides and listed on Wild Apricot. As of 11 p.m. on the 26th of June, there were 208 registrants. There had been a bunch of cancellations that day because of the potential rain on Saturday, so a lot of people did cancel, which was unfortunate. Cherie Davis used the links I created on the Wild Apricot, connecting them all together. We had tours not just about the revolution, but infrastructure, Central Park, mass transit, and I believe for the first time in the history of GANYC, maybe not in the history of GANYC, but in a long time, we've offered tours in Spanish, French, Russian, blue cheese, vinaigrette, and Italian. Right? That's what it says here. All right, there you go. If this event were to be done again, here are the lessons learned. If this event should be done again, these are the lessons I learned. I should have given guides options of backing out, and of that, I'm sorry, all right, because there were a few tours that were canceled close to the date for lack of people registering. I am sorry about that. I'm sure that some of these guys had passed on paying work for, but keeping their commitment to GANYC was important to them, so they kept it. If this event were to be done again, this is an issue that should be dealt with in a more concrete way. Also going forward, I would increase the capacity limits. As Bob told me in the men's room, he had 24 people sign up for the tour, 16 showed up, and there was a wait list of 50, right? So, yeah, all right. I had someone show up on my Upper West Side tour who was on the wait list. She just showed up. She was not a GANYC member, so she didn't know any better, right? So she just showed up, and thank God people didn't show up. So I think I would increase that. And all in all, I believe the weekend was a success, and there are 208 more people out there in the world that know who we are. Yeah. There you go. There you go. How many seconds left? I got 22 seconds left. Any questions?
It's your last chance. He's not going to be committee reporting anymore.
What?
Stand up.
Only,
and say your
I didn't
name.
hear that because you weren't standing up, Jared, the NewYorkCityTourGuide.com. There you go. So that's the real .com
All right,
guy.
do we have a question in the back?
I'm Lee Hollandy. So do you see us doing this for non-special occasions, just make it a yearly thing, or do you think we have to wait for?
You know, that's a great question. That could be a whole new committee where you have like, special events committee. Seriously, I'm totally serious about this. That we just do it like once a year, just to broadcast who we are. You're absolutely right. We should do that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I don't,
Stand up.
that's her job.
Stand up, say your name.
Cindy, we did do that for, I think, 2 years in a row for the International Tour Guide Day. That's what we did, which is really
Yeah, we did do that.
Okay, thank you. Christina.
Christina, I was just going to say, Philadelphia's Association of Tour Guides has the great 12-hour River to River Philadelphia walking tour that they do every year. So they've been doing that annually, so why shouldn't New York City have an annual kind of tour for the public?
Oh my God. Yeah, Jane's Walks, but Jane's Walks are great, but you're right. We should do a 12-hour marathon tour that you move from station to station like a buffet, Yeah.
All right, those are conversations for a committee.
There you go.
All right, any other direct questions for our good friend here?
I don't see anything. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Bob Gelber's coming up. He is giving a report from our committee, so I'm going to give you the mic, but I'm here to
Thank
answer
you.
questions as well.
Oh, okay.
This is industry relations.
All right. How do you follow Gary?
Feel bad for you.
All right. So the most important thing that my chair, we are chairs now, Ro Schmavonian. So with having Ro at my side, since Harvey went emeritus and rogue, I sleep well at night. So anyway, the committee wants you to know that we are posting regular industry relation committee meetings on Wild Apricot. Anyone who's interested in joining the committee, we would love to have you, even if you just want to come to a Zoom meeting and just see what we're all about. Our purpose is to connect with the industry at large and also to get the venues that you're in, and we work with special events and guest speakers as well. And I just want to thank the members of our committee, and they are Maggie Brown, Eileen Rourke, Vince Meehan, Kat Hill, Beth Goff, Susan Birnbaum, and of course Harvey Davidson. I also want to thank John Semlick, because John was the person who arranged for the August 5th meeting at Greenwood Cemetery. He got us back there again. We're going to be in the new visitor center. And John is also offering a pre-meeting tour. Since no one on the staff at Greenwood could do it, John is going to do it for us. We will have it by registration, and he will post details if I nudge him enough. We will get those details. And then finally, the September 9th meeting, our AGM, we should be at Javits Center. It took a long time to get there. It's because of Harvey Davidson. We were ignored for a long time, but Harvey met the president of Javits Center at NYC TNC meeting about 2 months ago and said, no one is responding to us. And the next day, Harvey got an email from the person in charge of events. And as all the details fall into place, we will post it. Anything else?
And so that's kind of where the proof is in the pudding. And we're not expecting the tour to be perfect when it's presented, but we're expecting that everybody who goes through the certification process is going to be ready to then present that tour in good time, right? If that makes sense. Yeah.
I'll say, I ran my tour from here, Andy Warhol and Truman Capote on the Upper East Side. I ran it as a FAM tour. Before Nina actually and the committee put their feedback form in place, I sent my own feedback form out, and a few people were generous enough to give me some feedback. I moved the route a little bit, I made some adjustments, and I will, on July 26th, break even on the class.
That's great news.
Mary, in the back, you wanted to ask one more question?
I know I could just ask you at the bar, but I feel like other people might want to know. I understand attendance is mandatory, but is Zoom a possibility if you are not in town on one of those dates? No.
It's not. It's not.
And it's for good reason.
Okay.
Yeah, but where the goal is now that we have a format for this that's sustainable, we're hoping to run it again later in the year. So that's the other plus side of the way that this format has sort of shaken out.
All right, one more question before we move on to new business. And then, what if you can't do? You will.
You will. You will.
You've met everybody in here?
We give
But
you.
there's so many tours already out there. It's hard for me sometimes to come up with.
Oh, so the question isn't can you create a brand new tour that nobody's ever given before? The question is what tour speaks to you the most and is something that you haven't done yet and want to do that we can help facilitate as a cohort and as a committee and as a process. So there's a lot of tours that people have given that the facilitators like, okay, well, this sounds like a lot of other tours, but our goal is to have everybody bring something special and unique and independent to that process. But good question, thank you. Yeah, totally.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you want?
On behalf of the committee, yes.
Oh, you want to say so? Okay, so Dimitri's going to come up and present very, very, very quickly on behalf of the committee, and then we're going to move to new
Because
business.
I don't have any new business. I'm Dmitry. I'm a chair of the Multilingual Guides Committee of GANYC. I just wanted to bring to the front our committee anybody who speaks and guides tours in more than one language is welcome. We're going to have more meetings. We already had one meeting, and it was a great meetup at the Algonquin Hotel. Yeah, and just wanted to remind there will be more emails about the committee. Everybody's welcome. And yeah, I'm Dmitry. Just email if you have any ideas, multilingualguides@ganyc.org. That's about it. Thank you.
And so let's move on to the new business that we would do at the end. Mark, I know you wanted something. Why don't you come up, and then Christina, you can come up and talk about your piece. Oops. There you go.
Okay, Mark Levy. So those of you who've been to the Trivia on the Toll Ship, we're having the 4th iteration of it, July 22nd. It's a trivia contest. I will be the quiz master, and this year's theme will be New York 400, US 250. So that's going to be the theme of it. It's go to the South Street Seaport website to get tickets. It is co-sponsored by GANYC and South Street Seaport, and they split the profits, not that there's much of it, with GANYC with us. So hope to see you all there down on the, and it's also, it's a trivia event on an historic ship, which is really cool. And who's been here? Who's been with that? Very cool. We want all the rest of you to join us, okay? Sounds good? All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Christina, you want to come up? All right, Christina has something that's very near and dear to her heart that she wants to address the group with.
All right, so this is related to government relations and my negative government relationships and the fact that I don't want to be limited to just doing walking tours, not that there's anything wrong with that. For those of you that don't know, I am a carriage driver in Central Park. And there is a bill, Intro 943, that has been moved to a hearing in the Committee on Health on Wednesday, July 15th at 10 a.m. at City Hall. And that bill would ban horse-drawn carriages from Central Park. It would, you know, hey, listen, you want to come and you put me out of work, that's fine. I understand it. But it's being pressed mostly on a safety issue. So for people that are in Central Park all the time and also know the history of Central Park, it may be of interest for some of the tour guides who may have an opinion on whether or not carriage horses need to be banned for safety reasons and removed from the park to allow for more e-vehicles, and also whether or not that should be done given that we are kind of an important historic part of Olmsted's design for the landscape. Olmsted said he, intended the horses moving on the carriage drives to animate the landscape. So I would argue, from a historical perspective, that removing carriages from the park and horses from the park drives is a part of kind of destroying a landmarked landscape. So something to think about, because this bill isn't really a discussion about the care and welfare of the horses. I would love to give a FAM tour at some time of the carriage tables and talk about the history of the carriage. I just haven't had time to schedule one with the education committee, but this is, from my perspective, it is an existential question about Central Park and its maintenance as a historic landscape and what Olmsted intended the park to be used for. So we have been giving carriage rides in Central Park since the day the park opened in late December of 1858. The park drives, the lower loop was the first thing built in the park. And we've been licensed and regulated by the city of New York since 1692. So, no, 1692. The first carriage license was issued to John Clapp down at the tavern on the Bowery. We've been licensed for a very long time. Our rates have been set by the city since at least 1813, but we've been in the park since 1858. So,
All right,
Emma.
we'll take time for a couple more questions, and then our speaker is
Yay.
here as well.
Just a super quick question, a point about this. Emma Guest Gonzalez, GANYC guide. Do you have talking points? Do you have things that would be helpful for guides to stress in terms of the historic importance of this? And also, and to sort of dovetail with it, I'll sometimes get people say to me, oh, well, I think carriage horses should be banned. And I give them a sort of quick and dirty summary of why that should not be the case. Do you have literature where you could point us to give us that full information?
I would be happy to post stuff on Facebook page, information about the hearing. I said, I understand there's people that for more moral reasons around the use of animals have opposed horses in the park, although we've been there for a long, long time. But absolutely about the care and welfare of the horses. We are represented by TW Local 100. Our union is working very hard to ensure that the largely immigrant carriage drivers don't lose their businesses, because we have medallions like taxis. It's not just a job, so. John.
Just, like, we've seen the Central Park Conservancy grow increasingly kind of involved in this, like, partisan on this issue, and not only in terms of, war against the carriage industry, but also, like, they seem to be promoting e-bike and
Yes.
in the park, and I'm just wondering, because just the gas indicate, I think if you, I'm just wondering, I know that Central Park Conservancy is who they are, but it just seems like this is just something that is so, I'll just say, against, many people's vision of, like preference of what the park should be, and, I'm just wondering, how, I don't know, this may be just a rant, but, like, is there a way to channel this to the Conservancy in a way that will actually make a difference? Is that like, people don't necessarily want more e-scooters or e-bikes, going around the park?
I would suggest that we all make a lot more money as tour guides so we can compete with the Amazon, Ubers, and Lyfts of the world that have been giving money to the... Yes. The Conservancy is a private nonprofit. They only get like 15% of their money from the city, so...
They want Uber Eats drivers driving is that because it's like a shortcut?
Yes. They're turning the park drives into an e-bike superhighway. I worked with the Conservancy for years in my capacity as their union rep, trying to, when they talk about things that, like with carriage, people want hitching posts. We want to reduce the speed limit in the park back to the original 8 miles an hour. We would like signs indicating when people come up to the entrance of the park where there's horses, that it's a shared space and there's kids running to pet the horses and there's bike tours that are stopping and giving an introductory talk and everything that people need to slow down at those spaces. And we asked them, could you put up like a 5-mile-an-hour shared space sign that said, you know, shared space, horses have right of way, or some sort of sign about the history of horses in the park and why we're even here, like why are there carriage horses in Central Park? Because Olmsted designed it that way. And we were met at every turn, no, we can't do that because we can't slow people down. You know, it's like we can't slow people down.
Okay, so we've
Yeah.
got one last question, Jonathan, and then we're gonna move on to our speaker for
Sure.
tonight.
Which, if anybody thinks that this idea of an e-bike superhighway through Central Park is fiction or an overstatement, if you've been to the park recently, you will notice that there are no longer stop signs on the ring road. Bikes are only given a yellow flashing light. It's like pedestrians never get a walk signal. Bikes never get a red light. It's always a yellow light. And I thought this was a mistake that they were replacing, and they said,
No, that is the
we're
plan.
getting rid of all the red lights. Bikes are not ever being told to stop for pedestrian groups. So if any of you have ever tried to walk a school group from Strawberry Fields to Bethesda Terrace, I want you to imagine how hard that is without a single red light at that intersection to tell the bikes they must stop, rather than just a suggestion that they might want to stop for our group of 50 high school students who are all looking at their
All right, we're gonna move on. If you have other questions, you can grab Christina after the meeting here. Bob Gelber again to introduce our evening speaker who has made it through thick and thin, and God knows what happened on the subway.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
All right. So I have his intro. I'm only going to read half of it. He deserves all of it, but we have time constraints. So Kevin Draper, first of all, is a longtime GANYC member. He is a sought-after New York City historian and co-founder of New York Historical Tours. An impassioned native New Yorker, Kevin actively brings to life the incredible stories that have made New York the most exciting and influential city in the world. And anyone who knows Kevin, I'm sure there are plenty of us sitting here that gets a Venmo on a regular basis from Kevin or from his wife, Jen. I have the pleasure of working for them. They always bring us great clients. Anyway, Kevin, I know you had a very long and trying day. Welcome and come on up.
So welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for understanding. I was doing a tour. Can you imagine, as a tour guide? So that was probably a good thing. So tonight, I just want to talk a little bit, while I have a little bit of time, tonight about the 250, which all of us obviously have been talking about for a while. Probably a lot of people here have done tours or gone to some museums, including here, seeing what they have here for the 250. So I just want to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about New York's role in that, in the revolution, and just to kind of go over a couple of things with the 250 and and New York's role in that. Just to start real quick here, you probably all recognize this, but if you don't, that's Lower Manhattan. And the other thing that we had, which the city did not do what we thought they should have done, was the 400th anniversary of New York, which was 2024, but technically you could say 2026, because that's when they did the paperwork in 1626, so to speak. So we could kind of celebrate that for a couple of years. So I do want to just mention that for a moment, that if we do go back, just to give you your bearings, that's the Wall of Wall Street over here. There's the canal. They actually did build the canal. That's where Broad Street is now. And when the Dutch did come here 400 years ago, unlike the British, the French, the Portuguese, the Spanish, they didn't come in as conquerors and nothing really to do with religion. It was really all about business. And what they brought here and what they've already started back in Amsterdam was the very idea of what a corporation is and the stock market, essentially. So when they came here, essentially just for business. So it was a business colony. They did not buy the island, which a lot of us know. They did trade some stuff with them, and they set up this colony then. All around here, you had the other colonies that were starting with the British. Think of Virginia, think of Connecticut, and so forth. Way up north in Canada, you had the French. Way down south, you had the Spanish down in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida. And eventually, after about 40 years, the Dutch realized that they might have been in a bit of trouble here because the British realized that there was one piece missing from their puzzle, so to speak, of what would be the colonies. So they finally decided to invade and take this by force, which would be in the 1660s. The Dutch didn't want to fight because they didn't want to die for a business colony. And the British didn't really want to fight to take it over either because they would have basically destroyed the city if they had to take it over. So they did sort of negotiate, and it was really more of a merger than a takeover. So that's what the Dutch did in the 1660s. Didn't kick the Dutch people that were here out, including families like the Roosevelts that were already here. So when you think way in the future, 7 generations later, we get Theodore, Franklin, Eleanor. So it's these little things in the past that do really affect the future that if we would have kicked the Roosevelts out, we never would have had the Roosevelts. So the King of England is thrilled he got this without a fight, so he will give it to his brother, who's the Duke of York. And of course, he says, thank you for New Amsterdam, but I'm going to rename it New York. Now for the next 100 years, no real issues, except with this. Oh, hold on, no. That's not clicking. Hold on one more second. Okay, that's fine. So use your imagination. So what ends up happening is after almost 100 years, by the time we get to the 1750s, the question is, how are they going to expand it out west? And it was basically, this was the French and the British. Of course, they didn't talk to Native Americans about any of this, but that's a whole other story. But how are they going to push out west? So we end up having the French and Indian War, which was a fight to see how the colonies were going to be pushed out west. It starts in basically the Ohio Valley, and George Washington's militia group was the first one there. There's enough evidence with enough historians that they believe that Washington might have actually shot the first shot. I don't know if that works. Just trying to click it once. It's okay. I'll keep talking. I'm going to just keep going. So that becomes the French and Indian War, which the Europeans called the 7 Years' War. And Washington, like I said, we believe probably fired that first shot. And that kicks off the entire, which really was a world war, believe it or not. Everyone thinks World War I was World War I, but really it was the French and Indian War because it was a world war, which the British won. Now, the king realized that he was going broke fighting this war. Wars cost money. They cost a lot of money. So the King of England realized that we needed to raise some money to help pay for the war and to protect the colonies in case the French ever wanted to come back. So that wasn't the issue with the colonists paying some sort of taxes. It was the fact they had no representation. That's what really did it. So there was a big push they weren't so angry again at the taxes, they had no representation. And the King of England was even told by his court around him they should be able to have at least 13 members in Parliament so they can at least have their grievances, right? And then a lot of them even wrote, which by the way, I've seen some of these letters with my own eyes, and you don't have to listen to them. So Parliament is literally, the King's Court is literally telling the King of England, let him have 13 representatives, let him complain, don't have to listen to him, tax him anyway. But he said, no, I don't care. And because of that, that's pretty much why we had the revolution. That's why it started. That's really what it was all about. And that's what we're celebrating with the 250. So it starts in 1776. And most people think of Philadelphia and Boston, and they do play their part. It's not just because I'm a New York City person that I want to kind of lean it this way, or I'm in the Museum of the City of New York. I'm not just trying to lean it that way, because it really is true. The war really starts here. Because when the revolution, when the Declaration was sent, this is where the British will invade first. Summer of 1776, they send 400 ships into New York Harbor to take this by force. That's the biggest fleet that Britain had ever sent out. They don't do anything like that again until D-Day in World War II. So that's how big this invasion was right here in New York. Washington is in New York City. The troops are basically stationed where City Hall Park is today. Of course, there's no City Hall, but just think of like where City Hall Park is, and that's where King's College was right next to it, which later becomes Columbia. Washington is very nervous seeing these ships. He'll go up to where City Hall Park is, and he has the Declaration of Independence read aloud, which fires up the troops, and later on that night, they will go down to Bowling Green and tear down the statue of King George. and they're going to melt it down, and it's going to be, oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, because now I lost where I'm going to be. Hold on. Taxation, don't worry about that real quick here. Okay. So they're going to tear down that statue. They're going to make him into several thousand musket balls. If anybody here is British, I'm sorry to say this, but they're literally going to be shooting British soldiers with bullets made out of King George. If you made that up, it would be ridiculous, but it really did happen. Several pieces of this statue, by the way, did survive because they were bringing it up to Connecticut to melt it down. A few pieces fell off, and they're scattered about, but there are a few pieces that still exist, which I think they have one in the exhibit today, right? So if you probably saw that upstairs, which is great, so you can see a real piece of this statue right upstairs. So if you saw it on the tour, that's great, but if you didn't, that's something you really should see. That's upstairs. So now the revolution will move into essentially what's known as the Battle of Brooklyn. And what's going to happen is Washington moves all his troops into Brooklyn thinking they're going to invade there first, and it turns out he was right. So the British will invade Brooklyn first. It's known as the Battle of Brooklyn. It's going to be the first major battle of the Revolution, and it's the largest battle of the entire 7-year war, which we will lose immediately. Washington is trapped in what is Brooklyn Heights today, and pretty much will set up his camp. The British set up their camp, and it's pretty much over. And it was sort of an unwritten rule, but the idea is that you're not just going to kill everybody, so they would surrender with dignity. So the British, that's what they thought. They'd go into the camp and Washington's going to surrender with dignity, but instead he makes the decision to evacuate all the troops into Manhattan. So he does that in the middle of the night to get everyone across. And when the British, of course, the next day, when they eventually do go into the camp and they realize that we got away, got into Manhattan, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but we'll get out of New York City, and the war goes on for 7 more years. The British were furious that we snuck away like that. So really the revolution, you can say we almost lost it that night. If Washington stayed there, I'd be doing this talk with a British accent. So Washington gets out of New York, and again, the war goes on for 7 more years. Now, and I'm just jumping ahead, so don't mind me for a minute. There was a huge fire that broke out. So when they did come into New York City, when the British moved in and chased Washington up to Harlem, got out, about 20% of the city was destroyed. Depending on where you read, it's anywhere from 400 to 1,000 buildings. So let's just go with the low number, 400. Imagine if 400 buildings were destroyed today, what big news that would be. So 400 buildings were destroyed. The British felt that we did scorched earth and just pulled out and lit a fire, which definitely wasn't true. Washington didn't want to do that. He made a point of that, not looting. And then some people blamed the British, which is ridiculous too, because they were taking over the city. So it was probably an accident. So most of the city was destroyed. Washington does get out of New York. It's about Harlem Heights. Washington will get out of New York City. Sorry about this. I didn't have some jumping ahead. That's the Morris Jamel Mansion, which thankfully is under restoration right now. That was his headquarters for about a week. After the war, this will be Washington when he comes back to New York City after the war. We'll have a dinner with his cabinet here. And also this is where Mrs. Jamel would marry Aaron Burr decades later, which he proceeds to steal her money. And she's actually granted one of the first divorces in New York because of that. So there's a lot of history in that mansion. Now, something about Francis Tavern. I'm just trying to jump ahead here a little bit. Apologize for this. Hold on one second. During the war, we would have all these different ships lined up along the harbor, and this is where the British would put our soldiers. This is a monument to them. These were the prison ships. I'll go back one second here. These were the prison ships. They were some of the most horrific conditions ever known in war up to that point. Now, it wasn't the British government. It wasn't the generals that said this to do this. It was just mostly the prison guards. But they'll end up losing more troops in the prison ships than the entire war combined on the battlefield. Some estimates are as high as twice. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it. So more people died on these ships than the whole war combined. Thankfully, they do have a huge memorial there now in Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn. So it's one of these places I suggest visiting. As a matter of fact, the column there was done by Stanford White, and the park was designed by Olmsted and Vox. After finally we get to 1781, the war is raging. Now, New York City, for the most part, during this entire time, is not going to see any more battles or anything like that pretty much throughout the war. But New York will play a big part because the spy ring was very active in New York during this period. So if you know the Coulter spy ring, if you don't know what that is, during the entire war, there was a real spy ring where a lot of this information was getting back to Washington. Everybody, tailors, bartenders, were all in on this, including Francis from Francis Tavern, was getting information back to Washington. And you can make a case that was one of the reasons that the war continued and continued and continued, because a lot of times we could be one step ahead or we knew where the British were moving. So you can't underestimate how important it was to have the spy network. If you want to know more about it, there's that show, Turn Washington Spies. That's really good. That's all about that. So that will be part of what leads to the ultimate victory. Washington's aide-de-camp was Alexander Hamilton, who was the head of that spy ring, by the way. When Washington, this is at the Battle of Yorktown, which was a major battle that was won. And for us, it's something to glorify in many ways about we winning the battle, but that's not why the British sued for peace after this. It's because when this battle was over, they turned around and literally looked in the harbor, and there was the French Navy. So in 1781, that's when the French, not just money and weapons, but actually was committing their military. That's the reason the British finally said enough is enough, and they wanted to sue for peace. So that is why the war will eventually come to an end, and Washington, after all of this time, 7 years, where he escaped from New York, thinking that we're probably going to lose. Oh, do you have a question?
Sorry, I'm from France, and I just want to say, Philippe Pardy, I'm a member, but right before the surrender of Yorktown was the block of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yep.
Cape Henry, and I think the other one was named for the other son of the king. Anyway, 2 lines of friendship aligned, and the British Navy could not go through. The battle was lost.
Let him finish up. Let him finish up.
So that led to the fall of Yorktown. Then the French artillery
Yep.
and Hamilton and surrounded Yorktown. And a few weeks later, on October 19th, 1781, Cornwallis, that was the police surrender.
Yep, that's it, yes. So Washington will come back to New York City. It's going to be a very big moment for him, of course, because, again, when he was pushed out of the city, he really thought we would have no chance. If you go down to Union Square and see the statue that's there, there's also a statue of Lafayette in Union Square. The reason that statue was there, and he has his hand up, because that's where all the troops met, and he said, now we retake the city. Now, obviously, there was no Union Square then. It was just sort of an open field. But that's why that statue was there, because it makes a real point, because it was such a big moment to actually say, we're finally retaking the city after all of this. And when this happened, it was known as Evacuation Day, November 25th. That was the day that the last of the British would leave New York City, because if you didn't want to stay here after that, if you were British or a sympathizer to that. So it was a major holiday in New York and in America, celebrated right up to World War I. So you had the 4th of July and you had Evacuation Day. But by World War I, we're friends with the British again, right? So we don't want to stick them with 2 holidays. So you don't do that to a friend, right? Maybe a little bit of ribbing, but not too much. So we don't really celebrate it anymore, except down there. So if you're down in Lower Manhattan on November 25th, this is basically where the Bull is, where Bowling Green is. So just so you know, there's a sign up there, Evacuation Plaza, and mark the date because it is something to celebrate that you're down there. And finally, Washington at Francis Tavern will bid farewell to his troops. This was a very, very big moment because up to that point, if you look back in history, you take people like Napoleon. What did Napoleon do after one of his wars? I'm Emperor Napoleon, right? What did Caesar do? I'm Emperor Caesar. Fidel Castro, Saddam Hussein, just go through the whole list of people that were generals that took over. So this was a very big deal that Washington would give up power here in New York City at Francis Tavern. Sent a shockwave throughout the world. Even the King of England didn't believe it. He said, if that's true, Washington's a great man. And I feel that it really marks the end of the war, that when in 1789 at Federal Hall, which in the distance, that's Trinity Church, which was still being rebuilt after that fire I told you about before, that Washington will be sworn in here in New York City. This will be the first capital of the United States. Where this Federal Hall was, it's also where they had that first trial of freedom of the press, and also they wrote the Bill of Rights here. Now, Washington is the one, they were going to do it inside, but coronations are usually done inside. They're usually done in secret. So it was Washington who suggested going out on the balcony so that everybody can hear it. That's why we still do it today, even if it's snowing or raining. The president, whoever is being elected, will still go outside so people can hear it and see it. And it all starts with Washington right here. And he didn't really know what to do, and his greatest strength was he knew he wasn't an intellectual. He really did. He understood that. So he felt that I needed to surround myself with people that are hopefully smarter than me. So that's why he came up with the idea of a cabinet. So he brings in Thomas Jefferson, he brings in Hamilton, because he knew a few things about money, Henry Knox, Secretary of War. That's why we have a cabinet today. You're supposed to surround yourself with the best and brightest. I'm back in the 1700s. I'm not talking about today. But you're supposed to surround yourself with the best and brightest. So that's what he did, and that's what he set forth for us. If you get a chance, of course, it's a good time. They still have the scaffolding up. This is an old fight. Yes. They'll have it done for the 251, I think. So, yes. And then ultimately, I just wanted to remember, again, how important this was, the Declaration of Independence, because it wasn't perfect, right? All men are created equal. I mean, they're leaving a few things out there. But at least it gave us the framework that we could grow. It gave us the ability to change, right? Women are going to fight the right to vote. We're going to fight to end slavery, civil rights, everything that comes after that. Again, this wasn't perfect. People love to pull it apart, but you can't. You have to just realize that it was important that it just gave us a basic framework to move forward. And if we can remember that, celebrating the 250, that, the country does have its flaws, but we can work our way through those things. And if we can remember that, that should hopefully give us another 250. Now, on that note, time-wise, I'm going to end here at this moment. Okay. And I hope you enjoyed our quick overview of the 250.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Stay here. Do we have any questions? Joseph in the back, and then Cindy.
Joseph Salvatore, thank you so much. I have several questions. I'll just try to pick one in the middle of the time. You mentioned there was discussion, which I'd never heard of giving the colony 13 representatives in parliament.
Yep.
And you said, when you said the king rejected it, was that shorthand for the British? Like, I've heard a lot of British historians say the king had nothing to do with any of this. And was it the king specifically, because you said you read the letters that rejected this, or was it like his advisors that rejected this?
The people around him said he should do it.
Oh, and the king rejected it.
Right.
Oh, so we can blame him for something.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, no, because it ultimately stopped with him. He could have, but no. That's the point of what everyone was telling him. They literally were writing, you don't have to listen to them, things like that. Like, just let them have representatives, and that's the end of it.
Wait. Cindy was next. Stand up, say your full name.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, thank you. This was
Cindy,
great.
Cindy.
My only question is, everything was New York, except that's Philadelphia, that's the Declaration of Independence.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that was in Philadelphia, right.
Okay, we had a question in the back here. You want to stand up and say your name, please?
When you said the king rejected it, were the colonists themselves aware of this, like people like Jefferson and Adams, that this plea had been made to the king and the king had rejected it?
For the most part, yes, because, this had gone on for like a decade. Writing and our grievances and everything else goes back to the Stamp Act. There's all these different things that were happening where we were trying to make the point that we weren't happy about what was going on. Like the Boston Tea Party, just so you know why that was such a big deal, in today's dollars, it was worth $3 million, the tea that was spilt. So like we were making a point that we weren't happy.
All right, there's a question here. Stand up and say your name, please.
Kevin, very nicely done. But what about France? You have no mention of France in the American Revolution?
I did.
We only gave him 20 minutes.
I gave it more, yeah, I gave him a lot. I gave him a lot of credit. As a matter of fact, we can only fit so much in. But we mentioned that. That was the point of the French money, weapons.
But there's more of
and the military.
Well, you know what? When he can have more time to talk, he'll have more time to talk about the French. Thank you so much.
We'll call it the French of the American
Right
Revolution.
here, Mark, you'll be next. Say your full name, please.
Greg Caulfield. Tomorrow is the actual anniversary of the teardown of King George's statue.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mark's next, then you, please.
Yeah, Mark Levy, what about the theory that the Howe brothers conspired to let Washington get away?
Not really, no. It was more that, if you look at the Howe brothers, it was just more of a mistake, because they really looked at us as like brothers, in a way. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about letting them get away. They just thought, we just beat them so bad on the battlefield. We just killed thousands of people and did it like in 2 days. And they're trapped. They know. They see 400 ships. They're going to just give up. That's why.
I had a British tour guide on the tour, and he goes, do you know how much noise an army of 6,000 men make? And do you honestly believe they could have gotten across the river under the noses of the finest navy of the world?
Well, they were all the way out in the harbor. They were more by Staten Island. That's pretty far. And they were being very quiet.
Stand up, say your full name, and then in the back, Mark, you're going to be next.
Hardy Pippin, apropos of tearing down the statue, I believe that tomorrow there's a replica at the New York Historical Society.
Shh. It's another company. We don't talk about that. I don't know why he said that. I'll take one more question.
And, okay, we can take, can you take two more?
Okay.
Okay, in the back. Not you, not Ann, behind you. Say your full name, please.
Jason Logie, just want to say I'm from Staten Island, and we did have one important thing that's incident in the American Revolution is we have a
Conference house. Yep. Well, they met. It was.
Do you have a question there?
Yes, and I'm surprised that that's not mentioned.
Again, we gave the man 20 minutes to talk about the entirety of the beginning. We can take one more question. Ann had her hand up. Ann, can you get?
So I've heard conflicting where it was that they read the Declaration of Independence. Was it a wall and Broad or was it City Hall?
In front of City Hall Park.
In front of where City Hall Park?
Like where City Hall Park is now, that's where, it was called the Commons at the time. That's where like the Liberty poles were. That was right in front of King's College. Based right there, that field. That's where it was read. That's where the troops were stationed at the beginning of the war.
We've got time for you to do a couple more questions, if it's okay with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You do not need to stand up, but please say your full name.
Thanks, I'm Matthew Cummings. And I just wanted to remark that great presentation, Kevin. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
And did you mention the New York Tea Party?
Which was before now.
You had a tea party as well.
Yes.
Here in New York.
Yep.
I figured if you want to focus on New York in the Revolution, I've actually been giving a New York City in the Revolution lecture at nursing homes and assisted living facilities for the last several months.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
We have time for one last question that cannot be, why did you not include a piece of information that I know? Does anyone have a question on something that he has actually talked about already? Gary?
Yes, it's
Good.
about the French. Okay. The name Pierre Augustin Caron de Beaumarchais, does that ring a bell?
Gary, what did I just say?
That's a question!
It rings a bell, but I'd have to think about it for a minute. It doesn't jump out at me.
That was the guy that pushed, I believe, because that's why I'm asking you, is he the one that pushed for the French involvement?
There was quite a few people that did.
Okay.
I mean, if you think of like Lafayette, his connections back at home.
Beaumarchais, Lafayette.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, remember, Ben Franklin was over there with John Adams for the whole war. That's all they were doing was trying to get the French to be with us. The whole entire war, they were there. And the Dutch too. That was for the money. Yep.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much. It was.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. That was amazing and so. It's fine. I get it. I totally get it. All right. Thank you so much. Just a reminder, the next GANYC monthly meeting is going to take place Wednesday, August 5th, Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. In lieu of a guest speaker, we are going to have an open forum on topics about the business that concern us. So again, if we are hashing out as a board what form that will take. There's lots and lots of different ways to facilitate that kind of conversation. If you have topics you're specifically interested in having us address, let us know. You can go to president@GANYC.com, or excuse me, GANYC.org, or board@GANYC.org. We will talk about it in our next board meeting and find a way. Hang on one second, Ann, and then I'm gonna I'll let you, if you have got something you need to say. So please email that in, come to that meeting prepared to be a little flexible. We might move you around in seating, we might make you talk to people you didn't know before, we might make you do all kinds of things. I have all kinds of ideas that I am pushing the board to think about. Cartwheels, potentially cartwheels. So yeah, take your ibuprofen ahead of time. We are going to be meeting after this. We're going to be going to Earl's Beer and Cheese. Thank you, I think, Daria, for coming up with that. It's 1259 Park Avenue on the east side of Park between 97th and 98th. So just around the corner. I think the museum is open till 9? Till 9. So people, if you haven't had the opportunity to wander upstairs, we're already in. So we would like to get in and say that. What?
And Ro, while you're here, you can go to the 3rd floor and pull down the statue upstairs.
Ah, okay. Excellent. Ann, did you have something? Okay, great. Can I get a motion to adjourn? All right. Can we all agree that we are ready to adjourn? All right.